Hello all and welcome to our daily news show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a comment, like and share it with your friends, as well as hit the bell to be told whenever we go live. I'll be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues today to talk about what got you talking today. Our first story. From next Tuesday, home buyers can book a HDB flat the day after they apply. A total of 123 flats are on offer under the Enhanced Reoffer of Balance Flats exercise, which makes unsold flats from previous sales exercises available for booking at any time. So here with me to discuss this is housing correspondent Rachel. Hello, Rachel. So could you give us a bit of context as to what the Reoffer of Balance Flats exercise, or ROF, is and how it works?
Sure. So the latest exercise is the fourth sales mode type from the HDB. It's different from your other three in the sense that you can book at any time. You can book the flat at any time. You can apply for the flat at any time and book it the next day. So it's great for Kiasu Singaporeans because it's a first come, first serve. If you're there, fastest fingers first, you get to apply for the flat. I think viewers will be familiar with the other three sales modes, but I'll just recap it anyway. The first is the BTO, the build to order, and that's the one that most people go for. You have a new development, people go and apply for that, and they're often in they are built from scratch, right? And then you have the sale balance flats. These are the unsold BTO flats from the BTO round, as well as flats that that may have not had perhaps somebody passed away and there's no inheritor, and that gets pulled into SPF. And then you have the reoffer of balance flats. These are flats that were not sold at the BTO, and they were not sold at the SPF. In fact, they may not have been sold at multiple SPF rounds, and then they get offered at the reoffer of balance flats. And finally, you have this latest mode, the enhanced ROF, where it's flats that have really not been sold through multiple rounds, but now instead of waiting for a particular moment in time where they're released semi-annually, you can book it anytime you're ready.
So really what has changed with this new scheme of sorts?
Right. So I think the biggest difference is that if you're super desperate for a house, you don't need to wait for that semi-annual or wait 3 to 4 months for that special exercise. You can get a flat if you absolutely have to. So if you have desperate and dire needs, let's say you can't live with your mother-in-law or your children are getting too big and driving you up the wall, it's a great place to go because you go on the HDB website, book it, apply for it, and then the next day book your flat.
So
so basically the window is shortened.
So it's been a change in that the time frame is now, your waiting time is now a little shorter.
Right. The HDB has been moving in that direction. They are trying to get flats, the keys of flats into people's hands faster. Yes. But I also have to say that it is not exactly hunky-dory because don't forget, this is only 123 flats. So it's not a humongous figure, right? In the grand scheme of things, what's 123 flats? On top of that, we have to remember that there are ethnic restrictions on a lot of these flats. So when I was looking through the list, I was like, oh cool, Bukit Merah, Bishan, these are popular estates for Singapore. But when you look closely, you'll see that most of these flats aren't available for Chinese to book. For Chinese who form the majority population in Singapore, they may be very disappointed. In fact, of the 123 flats, only 26 can be booked by Chinese. And there are also restrictions for the Malay and Indian and others population, although that's not as bad. Another thing to remember, and I think that's critical, is that these flats are on the enhanced reoffer of balance flats.
So they've been unsold for a while.
They've been unsold for a while. They are the social pariahs of the HDB market. So there's one particular flat that I noticed. It's technically beautiful, right? It's $798,000 for 150 square meters executive maisonette in Queenstown. That's a very rare flat type, first of all, and in a very good location. But when I actually visited that flat last March, I realized that the flat's actually on the second floor and is above a rubbish chute. So that could be some of the reasons why this flat is not being sold, and it continues to be unsold. So that's something for viewers to bear in mind when they're making their housing choice.
I see. Thanks for shedding some light on this, Rachel.